Hey there, you. Yeah, you, the one who's probably curled up with a cup of coffee or maybe sneaking this podcast in while you're doing dishes or walking the dog. I'm so glad you're here because today we're diving into something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and I bet it's been on yours too. It's this whole idea that you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. Sounds simple, right? But oh my gosh, it's so much harder than it seems, isn't it? I mean, we all have these dreams, these big sparkly ideas that light us up inside, but then something stops us. We tell ourselves we're not ready, not good enough, not perfect enough. And I'm here to tell you, as your friend who's been there, that perfection is the sneakiest little dream killer out there. So grab a cozy blanket or pop in those earbuds and let's unpack this together. Because I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to feel like you can take that first messy, beautiful step toward whatever it is you've been dreaming about. Let's start with a little confession, okay? I'm the queen of waiting for the perfect moment. Like, I used to think I needed the stars to align, my desk to be spotless, my skills to be polished to a shine before I could even think about starting something new. I remember when I wanted to start a blog. Oh, this was years ago, and I was so excited about it. I had all these ideas for posts, and I'd lie awake at night imagining how it would look, how people would love it. But then I'd sit down to actually write, and nothing. I'd freeze. I'd tell myself, you don't know enough about blogging yet. You need to take a course first. Oh, and your writing, it's not good enough. And what if no one reads it? What if you sound silly? And so I didn't start. For months. I let that dream just sit there, gathering dust, because I was waiting to be perfect. Spoiler alert, I never got perfect. But you know what? I did eventually start, and it was messy, and it was scary, but it was also one of the best things I've ever done. And that's what I want to talk about today, how we can let go of this need to be flawless and just take that first step, because honestly, that's where the magic happens. So why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we think we need to have it all figured out before we even try? I think a big part of it is fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking silly, fear of not living up to our own expectations or someone else's. It's like we've got this inner critic who's always whispering, "You're not ready. You're not good enough. What if you mess up?" And let me tell you, that inner critic, they're a total liar. They're like that annoying friend who always points out the one tiny flaw in your outfit when you're feeling great about yourself. But we listen to them, don't we? We let them convince us that we need to wait, to prepare more, to be better. And the thing is, that fear isn't going anywhere. It's always going to be there, tagging along like an unwanted guest. But here's the secret. You don't have to get rid of the fear to start. You just have to start despite the fear. It's like jumping into a cold pool. You know it's going to be a shock, but once you're in, it's not so bad. And pretty soon, you're swimming and having fun. Let's talk about what perfectionism really does to us. Because it's not just about delaying our dreams. It's about stealing our joy. When we're obsessed with being perfect, we're constantly judging ourselves. Every little mistake feels like a catastrophe. Every rough draft, every wobbly first attempt feels like proof that we're not good enough. And that's so unfair because those messy first steps, they're not failures. They're progress. They're you showing up, trying, learning, growing. I think about my blog again and how my first posts were, well, let's just say they weren't Pulitzer Prize material. They were clunky, the photos were blurry, and I'm pretty sure I used Comic Sans at one point. But you know what? People read them. A few people even like them. And more importantly, I learned. I got better by doing, not by waiting. And that's the thing. Perfectionism tricks us into thinking we need to be amazing right out of the gate. But nobody is. Nobody. Even the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all together, they started somewhere. And I guarantee their first tries were just as messy as yours or mine. Okay, let's get real for a second. What's that thing you've been wanting to start? Maybe it's a business, a hobby, a fitness journey, a podcast of your own. Whatever it is, I want you to picture it in your mind. Can you see it? Can you feel that little spark of excitement when you think about it? That's your dream calling you. And I know, there's a part of you that's saying, but I'm not ready. I don't have the skills, the time, the money, the confidence. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need all of that to start. You just need enough to take one tiny step. One. That's it. Because here's the truth. Starting isn't about having everything figured out. It's about trusting that you'll figure it out as you go. It's about giving yourself permission to be a beginner, to make mistakes, to learn by doing. And let me tell you, there's something so freeing about that. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you give yourself room to play, to experiment, to grow. I want to share a little story about my friend Mia, because she's such a perfect example of this. Mia always wanted to start her own bakery. She'd been baking since she was a kid, and her cupcakes, oh my gosh, they were like little bites of heaven. But she kept putting it off. She'd say things like, I need to go to culinary school first, or I need to save up more money, or what if my recipes aren't good enough? And I'd be like, Mia, your cupcakes are amazing, just start. But she was so scared of not being perfect that she couldn't move forward. Then one day she decided to do something. She didn't open a bakery. She just started selling cupcakes to friends and family. She made a little Instagram page, posted some photos, and took orders. And you know what? People loved them. She started getting more orders, then she started doing pop-up events, and now, a couple of years later, she's got a full-on bakery with a line out the door. And she'll tell you herself, it wasn't perfect at the start. Her first cupcakes sometimes had lopsided frosting, and her Instagram photos were kind of blurry. But she started, and that made all the difference. So how do we do this? How do we actually start when we're scared and we're not perfect? I think it starts with rethinking what starting means. We often think it has to be this big, dramatic thing. Quitting your job, launching a website, announcing it to the world. But it doesn't. Starting can be small. It can be writing one sentence of that book you've been dreaming about. It can be signing up for a single workout class. It can be sketching one idea for that business you want to create. The key is to make it so small that it feels doable, even when you're scared. Because once you take that first step, something amazing happens. You build momentum. That one sentence turns into a paragraph, then a page. That one workout class turns into a habit. That one sketch turns into a plan. And before you know it, you're not just starting, you're doing. Another thing that helps is to embrace the mess. I know, that sounds terrifying. We want everything to be neat and tidy, but life isn't like that, and neither is starting something new. There's this quote I love. I think it's by Reid Hoffman, the guy who started LinkedIn. And he said, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Isn't that great? It's like, yeah, your first attempt is probably going to be a little cringy, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. When I started my blog, I was so embarrassed by those early posts that I almost deleted them. But now I look back and I'm so proud of them, not because they were perfect, but because they were proof that I showed up. They were my messy, beautiful beginning, and they got me to where I am now. Let's talk about failure for a minute, because I think that's the big scary monster hiding behind our perfectionism. We're so afraid of failing that we don't even try. But here's the thing. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every single person who's ever done anything amazing has failed along the way. J.K. Rowling got rejected by like a dozen publishers before Harry Potter became a thing. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. And you know what? They didn't let those failures stop them. They saw them as lessons, as stepping stones, as part of the journey. And that's what I want for you. I want you to see failure not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. It's like, okay, you tried something, it didn't work out. So what? You learned something. You're one step closer to getting it right. And honestly, the only real failure is not trying at all. I also think we need to talk about comparison. Because, oh boy, is that a perfectionism trap? We look at people who are further along in their journey, the Instagram influencers, the best-selling authors, the entrepreneurs with their shiny businesses, and we think, I could never be that good, so why even try? But here's the thing. Those people, they're not you. They're on their own journey, with their own struggles and insecurities, and more importantly, they started somewhere. They didn't wake up one day being amazing. They worked at it, they failed, they learned, they grew. And you can do that too. So stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Focus on your own path, your own progress, your own messy, beautiful journey. Okay, I want to share one more little trick that's helped me get past my perfectionism, and it's something I call the good enough rule. Basically, instead of aiming for perfect, aim for good enough. Write a good enough first draft. Make a good enough prototype. Do a good enough workout. Because good enough gets you started, and once you're started, you can make it better. It's like building a house. You don't need to have the perfect furniture and decor before you move in. You just need the foundation, the walls, the roof. The rest comes later. And honestly, sometimes good enough is more than enough. I think about Mia's cupcakes again. They weren't perfect at first, but they were good enough to make people happy, good enough to build a business, good enough to start a dream. So where does this leave us? I hope it leaves you feeling a little braver, a little more ready to take that first step. I hope it reminds you that you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. And I hope it makes you feel a little less alone, because we're all in this together, stumbling and learning and growing. So what's that thing you've been wanting to do? What's that dream that's been tugging at your heart? Don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. Take that first step, however small, however messy. Write that sentence, sign up for that class, sketch that idea, and then take another step and another. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust that you'll figure it out as you go. And hey, if you're feeling scared, that's okay. I'm scared too sometimes. Starting something new is always a little scary. But it's also exciting, isn't it? It's like standing at the edge of a diving board, knowing the water's going to be cold, but also knowing it's going to feel so good once you're in. So take a deep breath, count to 3, and jump. You've got this. And I'm right here cheering you on, because you're not just starting something new, you're starting something amazing. You're starting you. So let's make a pact, okay? Let's promise to be kind to ourselves, to embrace our messy beginnings, to take those first steps even when we're scared. Let's promise to stop waiting for perfect and start living our dreams, one brave, beautiful step at a time. Deal? Deal. Now go out there and start something. I can't wait to see what you do. And hey, if you ever need a pep talk, you know where to find me. I'm your friend, your cheerleader, your partner in messy, wonderful beginnings. Let's do this.